All right, ladies and gentlemen, so some of the things that I'm seeing with Star Wars Outlaws is very reminiscent of the exact same thing that we have seen with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, where a game gets released that's not necessarily bad, right? It's not necessarily the worst thing we've ever seen, but the problem is it's never going to get a chance to find its player base because it releases in a completely broken state. And when a game like that releases in a broken state and it stays broken for weeks on end to almost even a month or more with Suicide Squad, you end up losing the player base that you had a chance to receive at the game's launch. Well, it seems like the same thing is happening with Star Wars Outlaws because people are buying this game and they're finding out just how broken it actually is.
Give me my fucking money back. You motherfucker.
Now, we have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, Star Wars Outlaws players are instructed to start an entirely new game to prevent issues and progression blockers after a brand new patch. Imagine you buy a game and you get a certain distance in the game, you're having fun with it, or maybe you're not having fun with it. Regardless, you bought the game and now they're telling you, hey, we messed up so bad that you actually have to start all over again, make a brand new save just because we messed up that terribly. This is the kind of developers that you have trying to offer what they're trying to tell you is a quad A experience when we all know deep down just by looking at this creature's face, whatever the hell this is, that that's not exactly what they gave you. So let's get into this article from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Again, I don't know what the hell they did to Kay Vess. Somehow, some way, she ended up getting worse when the game actually released, when you had every single shill saying that she was going to somehow get better from the trailers. Well, that turned out to be a complete lie. It says an email from Ubisoft or Massive Entertainment instructs Star Wars Outlaws players to start an entirely new game with a brand new save in order to prevent issues and progression blockers. Now, again, this is very similar to Suicide Squad. If you guys remember, about a month into Suicide Squad, there was a massive game-breaking bug that essentially made everybody have to restart the leaderboard. So people who were trying to get to the top of the leaderboards and take the game seriously ended up completely losing all progress and had to regrind to get themselves back on the leaderboards because the developers reset it due to their incompetence. This is the same exact thing happening here. The only difference, it's a single player game that has a lot of content to it, right? Like, this is not a game that's a quick, one and done Call of Duty style shooter. This is supposed to be an RPG. It's supposed to be something that has a lot of quests, a lot of side stories, a lot of missions. It's something that takes a lot of time. So the fact that someone has to reset their progress that they spent the last couple of days gaining, that's fucking insane to me. That is extreme incompetence, and it goes to show just how little Ubisoft actually cares about anybody for that matter. So then it says ex-user Pirate Nation, shout out to Pirate Nation, shared the email which states the following. To best experience the Outer Rim, we rolled out a maintenance to make sure everyone is playing the latest version of the game. As one of the players affected who had access to an older version of the game, we are aware you might be encountering some issues after this recent patch. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. From there, it instructs players to make sure that they are playing the latest patch version of the game, which is version 1.000.002. It then concludes, once you've confirmed you have the latest version, please start a new save to fully enjoy Star Wars Outlaws as our team intended. If you continue on a prior save, you will unfortunately face issues and progression blockers. Bro, that would make me livid. That would make me livid. You know why? Because the fact is, they're saying something like this, for you to fully enjoy Star Wars as our team intended. Well, perhaps if your team wasn't so damn incompetent and you were capable of releasing a game that wasn't broken to the masses just the same day that you released it and proving that you didn't do any testing whatsoever that was actually relevant. You didn't do any real testing on this game. Otherwise, you would have avoided this level of a game-breaking bug. This proves to me that you just don't give a shit. As our team intended, how about I, as the gamer, intended your team to release a fully finished product? Perhaps that was a a bad thing in my mind, right? Like maybe me as a gamer, I expect too much. Maybe you're used to console gamers or something like that are used to this shit. Like, nah, bro, maybe you're used to Bethesda gamers. No. This is fucking dumb, bro. It really is dumb. And again, I don't understand why people continue to support this nonsense where you are releasing a broken ass fucking game and you didn't, like, the fact that you fixing it means that players have to restart their games is insane in 2024. It really is. And then it says the following. On the Star Wars Outlaws subreddit, this email appeared to be corroborated by Administration Hour 84. The user titled a post email from Ubisoft regarding new patch. In the body, he wrote, to all those I see stating they are stuck in space after a certain mission. This email talked about game progression blockage. They didn't specify, but the email said to start a new save file under 1.000, etc., and it wouldn't happen. Now, here's the amazing thing. Again, I don't know if this is true or not, but can you guys imagine if you had to go through all this work, right? You have to restart your save and all this and start a brand new fucking game because for some reason the developers released the game with a bug that makes you stuck in space for, once you reach XYZ mission. Imagine you restart your entire game and it happens again. Oh my God. And then the chances of that happening is actually probably pretty high considering we're talking about Ubisoft here. It also stated that even after downloading the patch, if you're playing in a save file that began under the old update, that you would still get stuck. So in other words, we have to start a brand new game under the newest patch. I know it sucks, but I hope this helps. This is only for PS5 players, I believe. He concluded, oh, wow, this is console player issues. That is fucked up. In the comments, another user also corroborated the email. Blood Saber Jedi Hunter wrote the following. I just got this email this morning. Wish I knew that before I played 5 hours last night. Honestly, this game is testing my patience. He later added, not even a mention of compensation since we paid for 3-day early access. You know, you guys who pay for early access, you guys realize that you're not necessarily paying for early access. You're paying for the game to be played on release date that the developers actually intend to release the game. The people who don't pay for early access are actually paying for late access. That's really what it is. You guys are just paying for you're wasting your money. Like, especially with a developer like Ubisoft, you guys need to see patterns. You guys need to recognize patterns. I would never, and I seriously mean never, pay for early access on a fucking Bethesda game. And now ask me why. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that the last, 3 or 4 projects that they've released have been buggy, shitty messes that are always broken for the first couple of weeks of release until they eventually fix it over time? Like, why would anybody pay early access for a Bethesda game? It's the same thing with Ubisoft. Ubisoft is getting worse and worse and worse. As they increase their DEI hiring, their product and their quality gets worse and worse. I wonder why that is. Again, you guys need to recognize patterns when it comes to these companies. If you're still going to support Ubisoft, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. Do what you want with your money. But if you're going to do that, then at least start recognizing patterns to help you avoid certain scams from this company. And one of the scams from Ubisoft is paying for early access because they're never going to be able to properly honor it. The game is always going to be broken for the first few weeks when it releases, and it's going to be a piece of shit that you're going to be unable to enjoy. And that's why this person's saying that the game is testing their patience. Well, maybe instead of the game testing your patience, maybe your patience should be tested by supporting Ubisoft that doesn't give a fuck about you. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.